Great. Thanks so much. So good afternoon to everybody who joined. It's my pleasure to talk about C-Voucher. And I'm Ola, and I'm working at FundingBox. We are the coordinator of the project, and I was involved in the management part, in the proposal preparation. So I'm very glad I can be here today and tell about how we did things, what we've learned so far, and how our regions able to benefit, hopefully, from our knowledge, the know-how that we created on the way. So the topic of today's meeting is the strategy for circular economy transformation and growth. What can it bring to your region? That's obviously a extremely wide area, and I do not feel like a total expert, to be honest. I can tell you only how we did things and what it resulted at the end. By the way, if anyone has any questions, if there are comments, if maybe there is feedback, everyone is in the listeners mode, which means that I don't think you can talk freely. But what you could do is raise your hand and or put the question in the chat box. So then my colleague Anka will be able to see that, and we can discuss things at the end of my presentation. So I hope you're going to enjoy it. Let's see where this journey for the next half an hour takes us. If we need more time, absolutely, I'm here. So to start with, just a little bit of a perspective why we decided, it's been, I believe now 3 years ago, why we decided to submit C-Voucher as a proposal to the European Commission, and what was really the market challenge that we observed. So our core idea was to support European companies in the area of circular economy. We called it designing circular prosperity. That was always a theme for our project, and it means that our at the bottom of our hearts, the mission was to make companies more circular and facilitate the change from linear to circular business models. So first of all, we saw that especially in the traditional industries, the business models were completely straightforward, from the production through distribution, and then to the elimination of products, to waste, basically. So that was going all over Europe, and the idea of having things more circular was not really on the mind of the entrepreneurs. Obviously, this business model impacts the entire operations. So everything becomes automatically more inefficient and generates a lot of waste. And of course, waste is impacting the financial side of business as well. It needs to be removed or taken care of. So that is something we observed, and the European Commission was very happy to tackle the issue across the continent. So then we thought, okay, if not linear, then let's go for circular models. Let's introduce the element of design, and I do not mean obviously artistic design. It's more about the industrial design package that we were offering to entrepreneurs, to SMEs. We thought that that would be the best help we can give, other than the financial resources, obviously. And as a result, we were hoping to get the companies to see business more from the sustainability perspective, so that things are not dumped at the waste field. They are reused, recreated. The packaging could be redesigned. The production line could be refreshed in a little. The side products, the waste that was usually generated at the premises, could be somehow taken back into the flow. And then we started thinking who the main actors, the stakeholders to join us could be. So obviously we started with regions. We were looking for partners from regional agencies sector, and we believed, and this is still my belief so far, that the regions are the actors that have really insight into what's going on underneath, into how companies do business. Obviously, we wouldn't be able just to rely on few regions around Europe and go on with things. To broaden our perspective, we went for clusters. Again, excellent partner when it comes to the information, what's going on in a given domain, and has a very direct line, often a hotline with SMEs around them. So having the baseline of regions and clusters with the insight, obviously we had to engage designers. What I've mentioned before, the industry designers, people who are experts in analyzing and then reorganizing things. And from the perspective, the project is almost finishing. From the perspective, I'm very happy about this decision back then. The designer services proved to be the most beneficial to our SMEs in C-Voucher. Technology providers were important since circular economy often requires some modern technologies. It could be anything from recycling to modern printing to really putting some software technologies like subscription model based business models. Anything that could help our SMEs was basically allowed here. And without technology providers, the transformation wouldn't be complete. On top of everything, just to maintain the operations, we had business mentors. And we wanted our companies also to go a little bit further. So to finish C-Voucher on a note of having the knowledge from the designers teams, having the idea how circular economy could work for them, and then maybe reach out for further funding. And venture capital is always an element that for FundingBox that is important to have, since we do not want our projects obviously to end after 36 months and then that's it. We want the startups, the SMEs, the entrepreneurs to get something beyond the project. So as I was saying, from my perspective, regions were key here. We had 6 of them, and I will show you exactly who they were in a second. But now let's only quickly have a look at the results. So after 4 acceleration programs in C-Voucher, we were able to build 12 fully circular solutions. That's what we called the new circular economy business models implemented. I believe, and this is a really impressive achievement, we were able to educate, if not the market, I'm not hopeful it's the entire market. We were able to educate plenty of people on the way, lots of webinars, lots of workshops. Previously, when the world was busy as usual, we were meeting hundreds of people all around Europe. We launched a special community for people interested in circular economy. And mostly the discussion started with the question, are you circular? And in many cases, the answer was no, not really. I do not understand the concept. So only the element of education, it was absolutely worth it to have it in C-Voucher and now it looks like one of the most stable results. So obviously lots of people saw a new angle to business, and that is great. That was behind our mission all the time. And I'm very happy that even if we did it for a few dozens of the companies, it's a very good starting point. Obviously, all the learning that we created and all the knowledge that we developed through the entire project cycle is now available, and it will be available as a calibration program. There was a session about the calibration program last week. C-Voucher will provide full set of instructions how regional actors can play with circular economy and how you can strengthen your local businesses in this area. So very quickly coming to the regions that we still have till June in C-Voucher. We had 6 countries, Nordics and then Eastern Europe and France. And that was a really good mix of experience, expertise, and the balance between the ones knowing already how the circular economy can play a big role, and how the others can learn. So that was a really good mapping around Europe within the regions that were cooperating on a daily basis, and then sharing whatever they could help each other with. Other than regions, obviously, we had some direct connection to the industry. The thing I've mentioned about the insight into what's not really working, what's the challenge in manufacturing, agri-food, blue growth, textile, and health. We had industrial partners that were working with us in order to show us the biggest obstacles, and giving some advice as how to approach different industries, since none of us is an expert in everything. So as I've mentioned before, in total 4 programs that our SMEs completed. The 4th one is still ongoing. So overall, it is 66 SMEs that one way or another got some support. Some of them went for the big program with 60,000 euros and the entire package of designer support, and they were actually executing the circular change. Others were just called adopters, well, unfairly said probably. Adopters were people that maybe were not ready for this physical actual change. They joined C-Voucher just to learn about the opportunity, and then maybe plan it on paper, maybe have some concept in their heads how the circular economy business model could be implemented at their businesses. So how do I believe regions could start thinking about implementing circular economy ideas? Well, first of all, it's important to know what you're good at, and it might sound cliche, but if you identify the strengths, then this is your point A. That's the starting. That's a launch pad. In order to grasp a little bit more information, I think the cooperation between regions and somebody in touch with SMEs, like clusters, like industry associations, like any sort of intermediary agency, will give you a lot more information of what's going on. Obviously, asking the SMEs is always a good idea. If only you have the tools and the means and the resources on this side, absolutely any survey questionnaire, any workshop, any talk really, picking up the phone and just asking people what they believe is the struggle. I'm not talking about COVID-19 struggle, but in a broader sense, moving onwards, this will be probably a great source of insight. And this will establish your bottom line. How we did that? Exactly, that would be a copy-paste of C-Voucher approach. That's the one I know, and I know that it makes sense. So the initial solution could be how to support the SMEs, if this is the question. The answer would be if you're able to influence the policy making process. Regional innovation strategies, that's something that identifies key elements for each region. So if circular economy becomes a priority or one of the key elements, this is great news for you. If there is any impact that you can have on the regional law, let it be green procurement or something totally different, that's again a good legal perspective to start with, as things often are blocked by some legal frameworks. Then having the money obviously allows a lot more change in regions. If you're able to dedicate some of your funds, if you're funds managers in regions, and you can organize open calls or competitions with the theme of circular economy, that is a great mobilizing element. So then your SMEs can start thinking and considering what it is, what needs to be done. Is the money worth the effort? Should I really transform anything? The topic starts. In generally, the sooner the conversation starts, the better. In order to help you with the with the entire program, how to organize things when you are having a circular economy competitions. Again, I would say the C-Voucher Calibration Programme would be a good source of information also as how to approach the topic in general. And then from another perspective, the last answer that I gave as an example here would be if you start working on a broader scale with other regions. What we did, and again I'm linking the slides here to our experience in C-Voucher. If you start thinking about circular economy transformations through partnerships with others, let it be cross-regional projects, is it international European Commission level projects, is it something on the national level? It doesn't need to be huge. It doesn't need to have this full swing as C-Voucher had and plenty of people around involved in it. It could be really just a small initiative that you start with. It's my message would be here only start the conversation as soon as you can and with whomever you can reach out to, and the rest will follow. Okay, so moving onwards. So that was the baseline, and that was the method that we used. The good news is circular economy as a topic is not going anywhere. It's very high on the European agenda, and there is an estimation that if we apply circular economy principles, we can directly impact the GDP, and the 0.5% that might seem small, it's really a huge achievement, and 700,000 new jobs that we could potentially create across all Europe. That's something really worth looking into. So it's not that the Commission saw something trendy and followed. It's something that the Commission definitely saw as an opportunity moving onwards, an opportunity for the future. Very interesting document, by the way, new Circular Economy Action Plan. I put the link here. However, if you just Google New Circular Economy Action Plan in your browser, you will have the same thing. I will talk about this document in a second, but this is definitely something that allows you to see, sorry, how the Commission and the European policymakers are seriously treating circular economy as we move onwards. So just to give you some examples, what areas will be tackled in Europe by all of us in the community. So there are works to include design principles, sustainability design principles when sketching new products. There is the push for smart buying. There is a push on ban on the destruction of unsold durable goods, a huge problem with the literally piles of items laying around, and it could potentially change in the very near future. Switching towards product as a service, and we had examples of companies in C-Voucher that went for having online platforms selling and then retaking the product from the market, or making it a service instead of a tangible product, if only possible. And this is always a good idea, and this is not only applicable to small companies, big corporates are also looking into this possibility, and it turns out to be very, very successful so far. If you look at the number, 14% of EU GDP, this is the purchasing power by public authorities all around the continent. That's huge. That's something really, really impressive. If we can start changing the purchasing habits and go more towards smart buying, then it will actually start. You will actually start seeing the results very, very quickly. The purchasing power is really combined with the prioritized industries. Everyone is looking now into the electronics, ICT, or furniture, where textile, again, very iconic for circular economy as a whole topic. These industries are definitely scrutinized, and in a good sense. It's not to eliminate certain behaviors. It's just to change the behavior and the mindset. And the prioritized industries are kind of a sample, a token of what could be done if we really start looking into the circular opportunity. So just few things to show you. I will obviously not read the slide, but to show you and to prove that the actions planned by the European Commission for the upcoming years, they go from everything in green transition from the consumer's perspective to mandatory green public procurement, and then industrial emissions. So these are the plans for the next few years, a couple of years really, 2022. There are more. There's plenty of initiatives going on regarding the end of life of products, how we treat the waste, what we do with the textile, with plastics and biodegradable things around us. So this is really happening. It's not a trend. It's here and it's taken very, very seriously. Plenty of things in the document that I've mentioned before, the new Circular Economy Action Plan. So please, I encourage, if you're interested, that's a very interesting read, and you will get more information and I hope more hope in a way that it shows you that this is really designed for us to stay. Something that is with regards to the people, the regions and the cities. There are different agendas, skills agenda, the action plan, the pact for skills. So this is again one of the key elements that the European Commission is looking into and trying to make things happen. Obviously, the money is following the cohesion policy funds, for instance, the transition mechanisms and other initiatives that I will link to later on. So definitely the greener Europe, carbon-free, which is another topic, but still within the area of circular economy for sure. This is something that's the focus right now. So in other words, that's a chance at this moment for actors like regions to really use the tools and the means that are here on the table and start building something, obviously from the bottom up, obviously in many cases from scratch, but this is the momentum right now. That's what I'm saying. Speaking of money, as you might know, the Horizon 2020 as the financial perspective just ended in December last year. So right now we're going towards a new financing period. And it's estimated that this next generation EU will have 750 billion euros. But obviously not everything will be applicable to circular economy transformation, and some money is absolutely nowhere near this topic. But what I would like you to see here is especially the European Regional Development Fund, then the Horizon Europe, that will launch officially very, very quickly, and the Programme for Environment and Climate Action LIFE. If you had a chance in applying for the Green Deal calls, hopefully you were successful. That was also a great opportunity to start the journey somewhere. Right now, I believe that the three elements here are the ones that you can work with. Maybe before I go to C-Voucher website, the Horizon Europe, which is something that we at FundingBox are looking into very attentively, that's linked to our core business. Horizon Europe will definitely have lots of relations with circular economy. The working program, which is the baseline, the Bible for every applicant, is not available yet. I saw a few drafts so far, and it looks very promising. Probably around April, maybe second half of April, maybe May, we should know more. There are no open calls available yet. We are all getting ready, but maybe autumn 2021 would be the first occasion to have some opportunity to apply. And this is going to happen. So the program is drafted in a way so that the smarter and greener and more efficient Europe will happen. And it has plenty of money. So again, going back to the international programs, partners you can learn from, Horizon Europe will definitely give you this opportunity. To learn more, I would suggest, first of all, C-Voucher project website. So you will find some resources, success stories, stories of companies that really worked with us, and we are very happy and proud they chose us in their circular transformation journeys. There is something more than the website, which is called a community. Community is a location online that that brings information about what's going on in the topic. In this case, circular economy. So we try to gather all people from all really walks of life. It could be entrepreneurs, innovators, tech providers. It could be VC representatives. It could be really anyone, obviously regional authorities as well. So that's like a one big group of circular enthusiasts, and we're trying to share the news. We are trying to pinpoint the interesting competitions in this area. So if your SMEs are interested, they could go on and learn and maybe hopefully apply. In general, if there is something regarding the Horizon Europe, I would suggest joining the FundingBox community. We do publish a lot of different calls, but this is on a different level, and many other domains other than circular economy will be mentioned there. And yeah, and I think that's it. If I can be helpful in any way, that's my email address. That's ola@fundingbox.com. So absolutely, with anything, any comment or question or something that you wanted to share, absolutely, please feel free to use the address. And that's it from my side. So we finished early. If there are any questions or anything really going on in the chat box, I'm happy to respond.
Thank you, Ola. I can't see any questions in the chat box, but maybe someone wants to ask something directly. I can unmute anyone who raises a hand, or just let us know they want to ask the question, and maybe they want to add something or clear some information. So if you have any questions, by raise of hands, we'll unmute you and you can ask your question.
No questions?
So far, no.
All right, so I guess that is it. In case you would like to learn more, all at FundingBox, we can meet there. And I thank you for the time. Thank you, Anka, for your help. I hope you enjoy the rest of the afternoon on Thursday. Beautiful weather in Dublin today, so hopefully you guys have spring everywhere, anywhere you are. Thanks a lot, everybody, and hopefully we'll be in touch. Thank you.